Okay, so now you can see the content of the slide, right? PPT, Dr. Atul.
Yes, Suresh.
Okay, so yeah, once again, good afternoon to everyone. And as we mentioned that, you have been selected with this particular FDP out of from near about 200 participants. Okay, so congratulations to all of you, and hope you are using this type of the learning process to enhance your skill, particularly in this community pharmacy practice, and also overall in your teaching. Okay, so with this particular role and responsibilities of community pharmacist, we will start with the today's session. So today's session is like just a preliminary introduction about the community pharmacist, what practices actually we are doing at the national level, and these are the some examples. I will try to give here, like how you can go to the next level. Okay. So right now, we both, Anil and me, we are working in Department of Pharmacy Practice in School of Pharmacy in International Medical University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So we joined together here like before 7 years in IMU, International Medical University in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And before that, I worked in RC Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research in Shirpur for 8 years. So 8 years I worked there, and I have completed 7 years here. In total, I'm having 15 years of my experience in the pharmacy practice particularly. And this particular presentation, I have prepared to share my views, my own opinion, and my expertise in the department of pharmacy practice in a particular with this particular field. Okay, so just want to share the disclaimer first. So this presentation includes my own opinion, whatever I'm having experience, my views, and is not related to my organization where I'm working in IMU. Also, this presentation is for education purpose and not for the commercial use. Okay. So coming to the this particular organization where I joined before 7 years here in IMU in Malaysia. So IMU is Malaysia's first and most established private medical and health sciences university with 29 years of dedicated focus in healthcare education. And IMU has also received a Setara ranking in 2017, that is 6 stars and coming in outstanding category under the mature university in Malaysia. So here I just want to show you the skill that I have developed in this particular pandemic time. So might be earlier I don't have the time, might be, and because of that I'm not able to do that, my YouTube channel. But here now I have created 1 year before the YouTube channel, and that is my opinion, like how I can aware the people, aware the pharmacist, and that could be help to them to learn from it, particularly with these particular videos and the webinars that those are I have conducted earlier with this recent time. Okay, so these are the videos you can go through if you are more interested with the clinical relevance. Also, some of the particular the videos like related with the citation references and plagiarism in publication, so that some of you might be doing your PhD. So right from diploma in pharmacy to the bachelor's to the master's and to the up to the PhD, you can utilize accordingly this type of video, and it's freely available in the YouTube channel. So maybe later on you can use this QR code or maybe the link to go through it and enhance your knowledge in this particular field. So again, what skills I have developed? So again, there will be a question, right? So today's session, particularly, we have as a preliminary session for the skill development. Okay. So you might be thinking that, okay, what particular skills that I have developed before, reaching to you. So in this particular 1 year time period, where we are in, we are sitting at the home and no much, contact with the people, with the society, and that's how I think upon, and then I develop my new skills of writing the codes. So here, these particular quotes I have given with relevant to this particular topic and with the today's audience particularly. So make a plan, set goal, work smart, and achieve target. Okay, so that is the quote I want to relate you here. Another thing is like whenever you think about the any dedication for the work, so what dedication you are doing right now, like you're participating in the FDP, you want to enhance your knowledge. So always there are some of the things you need to think about. Whenever the person thinks in an emotional way, there are always two things. One is the pleasure, another one is the pain. So as you know that there are many quotes like, no pain, no gain. This is the quote, might be you have you have gone through earlier. So here what I mean to say is the pleasure and pain. So whenever you are learning something, obviously you have to bear some pain by having allotting some time for that, and always with that particular pain, ultimately you are getting the pleasure. Okay, so for example, if you are starting if you are started already doing the exercise, okay, this is just the example I want to quote here. If you have started doing the exercise, after some time you may have the pain in your leg, so ultimately you will stop, right? So after doing your exercise for 4 to 5 days, ultimately you will stop because of the pain. Okay, so that is how you look upon that particular factor. Okay, so pleasure in sense of what? So obviously you are going to reduce your weight. That is the pleasure what you're going to get after doing the exercise. So if you have the pain, ultimately you are getting the pleasure at the last moment. Okay, so that is how I want to correlate it with the pleasure as well as the pain, how you can correlate and how you can think in a positive way. So again, another quote is relevant to this particular today's session is the live in present, think about future, and learn from reflecting on your experience. So maybe like the participants, those are attending this particular FDP, having certain academic experience. Some may have the 5 years experience, some may have the 15 years of experience, and those particular experience, how you are utilizing, that is matters. So if you are doing the same mistakes all over the time period, so that is not acceptable. So that is how you need to reflect. So that is how it is called as a self-reflection. So meanwhile, whatever the things you are doing, whatever the job you are doing, it might be in your professional career, you need to think at the back and see what are the mistakes I did in the past, and then how I can improve upon that. And that is how the role of self-reflection comes in. And this is the way how you can move to the next stage, to the next level, and you are learning from your experience. Okay, so that is the meaning of this particular quote here. Okay, and for that, ultimately you need to nurture your brain accordingly. You need to think about the positive attitude, you need to prepare your mind accordingly. And once you have the right mindset, once you have the right thinking, and once you have the right approach, then only you can go to the next level and to help to the others. And also you can share your knowledge, you can share your skills, you can communicate with the people in a better way, in a confident way. Okay, so that is how I'm telling you these things, all the things, because just I want to prepare you to this particular type of FDP. Okay, and first of all, I want to appreciate your efforts for the community engagement. And as I mentioned you earlier, like you have been selected from around 200 people. So already the association received 200 near about 200 application, and out of that, whatever the things you have written, like what is your interest and why you want to attain this particular FDP, and on that basis the participants were get selected. So that is the first thing. So I appreciate your efforts to your particular community engagement in that aspect, and your interest to aware the community pharmacist through maybe by the student. So obviously, whatever the things you are learning from this particular type of FDP, that you're going to implement in your curriculum whenever you're teaching to the student, and ultimately those students will be the future of the pharmacy, the younger people, particularly the budding pharmacists. Okay, and that is how we can take it in a right direction. So I believe that everyone, you have gone through already with the purpose of this particular FDP and what are those objectives we have, the learning outcomes we have for this, and we have invested much time on that particular objectives to prepare the learning outcome. After all, once you have this particular FDP program, how you are going to implement that particular the program at your community site, at your community services, at the local site particularly, and obviously that will be helpful for the community pharmacies at your local particular area. So we have already gone through your background, so I can see some people, those are having the pharmacy practice background, those are having the other discipline also, right from the pharmaceutics, and then pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacology, and all other the subject in the pharmacy. So with the diverse population, with the diverse background of the participants, we think about that, and also we prepare the content accordingly for the upcoming phases, from phase number 2 to phase number 8. Okay, so that one we will discuss in the coming time, and this is the session where we have the practice match. Okay, so as you can see the example of a cricket match, right? For every match, like there will be some practice. So before doing the actual the match, here we are trying to have some practice, and that's how we can well prepared for our upcoming phases, right from second phase up to the 8th phase. Okay, ultimately I'm communicating with you, and at the same time I need your particular cooperation. So meanwhile I will ask some particular questions, and that's how you can give the answer in the chat box. Okay, and this is how we can interact with each other, and the learning process will be simplified in this particular adopting this particular aspect. Otherwise simply just I'm talking with you and you're listening, so that is how we cannot prepare the mind of the people to get and absorb the things that what I'm telling to you. Okay, so that's why I wrote here the communication. So communication with the prepared mind and with the prepared mind. So these are the two terms. Okay, so here I am preparing your mind. So that is the prepared mind I will get at the last, and that is how we will be prepared for our upcoming phases. Okay, so that is my opinion. Okay, this is not I have not taken any I have not taken from any this particular literature or things, but this is the way how I think, and I want to share my knowledge with you, and that's why I want to prepare your mind first. And without preparing your mind, I cannot communicate you properly well. As like you all are teacher, if you're communicating with the student should have the prepared mind to listen you. If they don't want to listen you, ultimately they are not prepared to listen you, and that's how you cannot reach up to them. You cannot reach up to them that what message you want to give to them, you want to deliver to them. So first of all, for going for any particular type of the FDP or any type of workshop, you need to prepare the mind of the participant first, and you need to ignite that interest. So obviously you all join here in this FDP because of you have the interest in the community engagement, you have the interest to learn some new skills, and that can be adopted to go to the next level. And that is how we need those type of people, those they are more eager to learn from each other. Okay, so that's why I initially mentioned that we are open to all, and we are also ready to learn from you. So for every particular session we have the feedback, so we are expecting the feedback from you, like how the session goes, and then what are the improvements. Maybe you can see that these are the these are the particular comments, these are the feedback, these are the areas to improve in the near future. So that particular feedback we are expecting from you from the each and every session. Okay, again, as we mentioned earlier, is a interactive FDP. So if you compare this particular FDP to any other FDP, so this is a practical approach we have here, and we are trying to go to the next level. And this is not the knowledge that you are getting from the textbook or reading some literature and things like that. So these are the skills you need to develop by having the interaction, might be face to face, might be the virtually. Ultimately the face-to-face interaction will be having more impact, but as we are sitting in Malaysia and you are there in the India, it's not possible, so that we are conducting this type of skills development through the virtual platform. Okay, and that is how that particular concept of skills development is missing in the Indian curriculum, and that's why we want to improve upon that. And that is how we want to have the interactive FDP, rather just the speaker or the resource person is talking and all other are listening. Okay, so this is how we can have a better understanding, better approach for the learning. So that's why we took an initiative to have this particular interactive FDP. Okay, going to the next particular the information is the journey. So we are going to start the journey today. Okay, so this is the first day of our journey. So start from I. So I am the the resource person, so I will start from myself today, and then I'm reaching to you. Ultimately you need to reach to the other people, other colleagues that might be working with you, with your college, with your university, with your institute. So that is how we need to start our journey from I to you to we, and ultimately we need to communicate with the community, with the society, with the public, to aware about the medicines, to aware about the things they should know for their medicine. And that is how we can expect some particular what we can say the honor from the society to be recognized as a pharmacist. So over the time, if you speak the reality, the role of pharmacist is not recognized well. If you look forward for the the medical doctor, if you're looking for the the nursing staff, their role is very well recognized, because they are having the rapport with the patient, they are having the communication with the patient. So that communication is missing somewhere. Okay, so we need to accept the reality, we need to accept that particular fact, and that is how we can look upon the areas where we can improve. Okay, so some of you might not be your opinion might be different, but here on this platform I want to speak about the realities and where we are lacking, and how we can approach the way we need to improve in that particular area. So that is how we need to start our journey. So this is our first step as a WRC ACPI, and that is how in the coming time we can have many more programs like this. And that is ultimate aim of this particular FDP, is to have the greater pharmaceutical care for the patient, to have the positive outcome in the treatment. So that is how we can see this particular journey, how we can go and move forward. Okay, So you can see here, these are the some, the subtitles I'm presenting in front of you today for this particular FDP for the first phase. Okay, so first is the background. Okay, in the background we'll see like what are the things, okay, what are the situations are there currently, how we are moving, with the current scenario, with the current situation, that will cover in the big background. Role and responsibilities of the community pharmacy, and the pharmacists, those are working at the community side particularly, and those I adopted from the pharmacy practice guideline 2015, published by the Pharmacy Council of India, and that is how it is relevant with the current local context at the national level. Okay, that I believe so. And the third point, I want to give you some information about the pharmaceutical care, and in short, what are the FDP phases, particularly we have right from second phase until phase number 8. Okay. Next point is particularly about the quality use of medicine, and that is how we define as a Know Your Medicine program. So Know Your Medicine program is the component and part of the quality use of medicine. So you might be heard about the quality medicine, quality of medicine, and quality use of medicine. So these are the two different terminology that we are going to learn here in the Know Your Medicine program, and what is the rationale, what is the particular objective of this particular program. Okay, and next to that is the message that I want to deliver you as a pharmacist and as a teacher, that we are going through in the message. Okay, the last part. So coming to the point here, the background. Okay, just a minute. So yeah, coming to the background, why this topic? So as I mentioned you earlier, this is the preliminary topic, and this is the how you can gain your basic knowledge about the community pharmacists, what is their role, and which skills particularly we want to improve for having the better patient care, and we want to have the better patient safety, the patient satisfaction, the patient safety environment. Okay, so this is why we want to discuss this topic today particularly, and that is how we selected this role and responsibilities of the community pharmacist, as well as the Know Your Medicine program, and how you can aware as a medicine expert, how you can aware the people of India to get a better patient safety aspect. Patient safety is a like broad term, but with this particular all the phases, phase 2 to phase 8, you will get to know that how you can improve and how you can work upon the patient safety, and how you can create an environment that is favorable for the patient as well as for the healthcare professionals. Okay, again, this is a need of time. As you know that we are we are looking for the many other community pharmacists, those are working in the Western country. Sometimes we also compare with them, the community pharmacy of India as well as the community pharmacy of the Western country. But is it you need to ask one question to yourself as a teacher: are we training our students to have the application of that knowledge into the real life scenario? So the answer from many of us is no. So in India, that thing is also lacking, so that is the need of time. So whatever the knowledge we are sharing with the student, we need to tell to them how to apply that knowledge. That is very important whenever you think about what is the need of time, because whenever we compare the pharmacists, those are working at the other in the other particular countries, in the other countries of the comparing with the India. So that is how we need to look into the matter. We need to look into the curriculum also. Are we teaching that particular concept to the student or not? And if the answer is no, you need to look upon what are the areas I need to improve. And that is how you can see the content of this particular FDP in the coming time to enhance your knowledge in that aspect. And as you know that the world is competitive, obviously there are many community pharmacists are upcoming community pharmacies are there. There are many pharmacy chains are there. The e-business is also going on. So with this all aspect, the community pharmacy need to survive. Okay, and for that particular survival, they need to develop the skills that needed for their survival particularly. Okay, so that is how you can see the competitive words, what the other people are doing, what I am doing, and how I can improve upon. So if you have the right approach, if you have the right mindset, obviously you can survive in the competition, and maybe you will be the first in that case if you go in the right direction. Okay, so that is how with the global context, with the global perspective, looking at the example of COVID-19, you can see the many literature are there that might be given by the WHO, that might be given by the many other international authority. And looking at the national level, the ICMR, the Indian Council Medical Research, they have also published some of the literature that might be relevant with the current context of the COVID-19, what precaution we can take and what drugs, what medication we can take upon in the certain COVID-19, the comorbidities, particularly those having the asthma, those having the diabetes, what are the precautions we should take? What are the treatment strategies we need to have for those particular comorbidities happening in the COVID-19 era? Okay, so this is how we think about the global perspective. And ultimately, all these things we are doing for the quality improvement. Okay, quality improvement in terms of the patient safety, quality improvement in terms of the pharmaceutical care that should be rightly delivered to the patient, and also as well as to the healthcare provider. Okay, so for this all, we need to think about the long-term strategies instead of thinking about the short-term views, the short-term vision. Okay, so as a community pharmacy, you need to look upon the factors that you're lacking and where you can improve upon. This is the just the graphical thing I have given here, the graphical presentation. Like whenever you opt for the pharmacy curriculum, particularly it's relevant to our student. So it's not only the thing like you're completing your degree, you're completing your bachelor's, or might be the diploma, might be the postgraduate, or might be your doctorate level degree. But again, whenever you rank first or rank two, that is not the matter. And once you get the job also in the the pharmaceutical company, or maybe in the pharmacy chain, or anywhere in the hospital setup, or maybe you have your own community setup. So in long term, if you think about your degree, your percentage, your grade, that is not going to help you for a long term vision. So what is going to help you? So you need to think about the soft skills and the hard skills. So what do you mean by soft skill and the hard skill? So the hard skill is mainly, you can see the technical competencies that you acquired while you are doing your, the job function. Might be the knowledge, what you gain from your particular, the bachelor's degree, maybe from diploma, maybe from postgraduate, So the hard skill is the technical competencies and the knowledge that required for a particular job function, and that's determined through your education and also your work history, how you did your earlier particular postgraduate things, or maybe the diploma or any other course what you did earlier. And whenever you think about the soft skills, these are the desirable qualities, like that might include your common sense, obviously, the ability to deal with the people, how you communicate with the people, how you have the positive attitude, how you have the positive flexible attitude. That is very important. So it's not depend on your acquired knowledge, but how you're utilizing your presence of mind, how you utilize your sense. that also matters, and that comes under the soft skill. That is the basic soft skill. You need not to have any degree for that. So that is how you need to improve, and you need to look upon what are the skills I need to improve. If you are a community pharmacist, if you have your own pharmacy, you need to have the interpersonal skill. Interpersonal skill also will help you to manage the people those are working with you. If you don't have the interpersonal skill, then the people are not ready to work with you, because you don't have that managerial skill, that leadership skill to work with the people and along with the healthcare team, and that is how you're lacking in that. So that's how you need to look upon the areas where you want to improve and what mistakes you did in your past. That is how you write your self reflection, you think about your self reflection, and you are going to the next level if you are going to correct that mistakes. And obviously, if we talk about the change is the only permanent thing in the life, and that is how we can look for the change. So always I can see the change should be there. If there is no change for a long time, obviously you can think that you are not growing. If you are doing something change, obviously you can think that, okay, I'm growing. Okay, so this is how I can define the change is only the permanent thing that I can see in the life. Okay, and ultimately at the last, you should know that how to sell your soft skills. If you have the good communication skill, if you're a good communicator, try to use that skills. Okay, and try to communicate with the people in a better way, and that is how you can grow your business. So ultimately, some people have the mentality to establish the community pharmacy due to the, the money involvement, due to the business having the, with the medicine, and ultimate aim is to earn the money. But some people, they are not thinking in the other way, that how we can have our services that can reach to the people, that can benefit the people. At the same time, we can also charge the money for that. As you can see, the PCI, the Pharmacy Council of India, they have also recognized that clinical pharmacists and also the pharmacists, those are working at the community site, they can charge the fees, their fees, particularly for the services they are providing to the society, particularly for the, the community pharmacy. Those are having the patient counseling set up at their at their community. Maybe they have some certain sort of advanced services like blood pressure measurement, body mass index checking, or maybe they have some other type of things like the blood the diabetes screening, the pregnancy testing, and many more. So it's all depend on your thought process, how you want to improve. If you want to set up the community pharmacy and you want to sit accordingly, so always there is always you can think in that direction, that there will not be any growth in a coming time. But if you think in a right direction, obviously you're going to get the benefit out of that. Okay, again, if you think about the global pharmacy market and what is our role of the community pharmacy as well as the medicine, and how we are the expert, we are the expert. If you see the worldwide data for the particular pharmacy field, how we are contributing to the country's GDP. Okay, so that also you need to think about before going for this particular FDP. So pharmaceutical industry, particularly the Indian pharmaceutical industry, it's called as the pharmacy of the world. Why this is so? Because we have the certain the evidence with us, and that is how we define the pharmaceutical industry as the pharmacy of the world to the India. So because we are the largest provider of the generic drugs globally, and also we have the access to the affordable HIV treatment, and that is we have already the evidence and the stories in the medicine. With the greater success, we can have the access to the affordable HIV treatment. Okay, and this is the fact I have taken from the government of India, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers with the Department of Pharmaceutical Annual Report 2019 and 2020. So this is how we have the global pharmacy market whenever it comes with the Indian perspective. Okay. And again, coming to the vaccine and also with the COVID vaccine, earlier that also we have the biggest suppliers of the low cost vaccine in the world, and that is how we recognize for the medicine manufacturer and also for the medicine expert. And in some aspect, we are lacking like the practicing pharmacy, okay, where the practice is not up to the level. Whenever we think about the manufacturing, the practice level is not up to the mark that we can say here. Okay. And medicines are the preferred worldwide because of the low price and also the high quality. Okay. And this is how we are expert in the manufacturing of the medicine. And if you look at the GDP, the contribution of the pharmaceutical industry into the GDP is around 1.72% to the country's GDP. Okay, so this is all about the role of particular pharma industry in the contribution of the GDP. Going to the particular next title.
Praveen sir,
Okay,
just a minute.
Just I want to update to the all participants. Okay.
Record, madam, please mute yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Carry on, sir.
So now, okay, right? Any question up to this point? Anything you want to have your opinion on this? Anything? Any comment from the participants? Maybe for this section, I want some input from you. So wherever possible, what I can do now, I will, I will have some question, try to answer that. So I want to know the opinion of all the participants. Okay, I want to know the opinion of the participants also. Like I will come to the next slide now. So here the role and responsibilities of the community pharmacist. Okay. So this particular part I have taken from the Pharmacy Practice Guideline 2015 that was published by Pharmacy Council of India. And these particular responsibilities I have taken particularly, some important, what I can say, the responsibilities, not all the responsibilities. Before that, I want to have one question to you, all of you, as a resource person for this. So all participants, what do you think about this? The first question, as a community pharmacist, which skills you need to learn or you need to improve? Can you answer me in the chat box so that I can read the answer, and then we can see what is your particular opinion on that, and later I will continue my session. Okay, can you please reply? Okay, maybe I need to start with my other. Okay, I can see the reactions here, your chat. Okay. Okay, please reply into the chat box so that I can read all the comments. Okay, Mr. Mayur Sawant, communication, that's good. Dr. Shilpa, empathy, I agree with that. It's a good. Okay, the marketing skill, yes, Dr. Prashant. Mr. Sachin Kumar Pandey. So you can always change your name, okay, in the chat box where you want to, how you want to address me, okay. So Sachin Kumar Pandey, updated knowledge and good communication. Okay, that's good. That is a evidence base. Yeah, I will come to that point. Okay, communication skill, yes. Good knowledge and communication skills, I agree. Yes, Mrs. Manisha, Dr. Srikant Joshi, Mr. Sachin Kumar Pandey, Mr. Ramesh should have proper knowledge and good communication skills. Yes. Okay, communication with patient, Mr. Shiv Kumar, Mr. Trupal Rathod, patient counseling. Yes. Dr. Prashant Argade, computer literacy. Yes. Okay, Mr. Ramesh, understanding and patience. Yes, obviously, the patience is also required while listening to the patient, and that's how you can learn from the many things from the patient, from the listening. So you're not listening only, you're not listening to the patient, but you're learning something. And that is how you need to build up the patience, in yourself, and that is how you should have the proper understanding. You can have the proper clinical decision making, what I can say here. Okay, Trupal Rathod, yes, again, to provide health screening services. Yes, that is also the skills we need to develop as a pharmacist. And I can see that, many other countries, they are not restricting themselves for the polio vaccine dose only, for the community pharmacy, but they are looking for the new areas where we can, where we can take care the community for giving the other vaccination also. In some other country, even though I can see the pharmacists are giving the COVID-19 vaccination, but that is not the thing happening in the India. Okay, why this is so? Because we are lacking in that skill, right? We are not going to, we have not learned that particular skill in our curriculum. We are not having that type of exposure, like, what medical doctors are having in their profession, like ward rounds and other things. Only that happening in the clinical pharmacy area and the pharmacy practice, those are opting the pharmD and things like that. But this type of things, are missing in the BPharm curriculum. And maybe that's why the PCI is adopted to have the BPharm pharmacy practice curriculum. And again, in the new curriculum of the diploma in pharmacy, we have some skill-based teaching. That is, I appreciate the efforts that might be given by the feedback by the stakeholders. And also, our awareness of the president and also the vice president to look after, like, what are the things going on at the national level, and how the FIP is thinking about the things, in the worldwide area. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, Mrs. Gayatri, pharmacist can explain the concept, okay, in such a way that patient can understand properly. Yes, so it is very relevant that you need to tell to the patient in a very relevant way, by listening to them. And obviously you're not going to use the medical terminology. So medical terminology, sometimes the patients are not they are getting some particular problems while understanding. So we need to use the language that is accepted at the the rural language particularly, and try to avoid the medical terminology in concern with the patient, if you're talking or communicating with the patient. Okay, yes, that's good. Dr. Vilas Surana, we should ensuring the supply of medicine is within the law. Yes, that is also true. And that is the missing part, I can say. Frankly, I can say that is the missing part we have in our Indian setup, like, ensuring the supply of medicine while also restricting and also limiting the with the bracket of the law. We need to follow the law, we need to follow the ethics. We should have some moral as a profession, as we have the pharmacy profession. We need to work for that, and we need to supply the medicine accordingly. So sometimes we think that, and that might be the one of the distractor we have. Sometime your other community pharmacy friend, they are selling some type of they have the one type of particular practice. So obviously that practice we are also adopting. So that is the human nature, and that's why nobody is going to correct that. Nobody wants to correct that. They just want to see the pharmacy profession as a point of view is a money making process. Okay, but that is not the case. So this is how we can look upon our profession. Don't say that many people are saying that I'm going to my shop. So this is not the shop, this is not the store we have as a pharmacy. So we can call as a pharmacy instead of we are calling as a shop. We are going to shop, medical shop. So first of all, we need to have a question ourselves. First of all, how many of us will write in our CV or in our biodata that I am a registered pharmacist? Ask question yourself. So this is a pride, this is a proud that we are the pharmacist. You can see the medical professionals, they are writing very clearly that registered medical practitioner. Okay, they are registered with the MCI, the Medical Council of India. So that type of the part what I can see that is missing somewhere. And we need to say proudly that we are a pharmacist, and then only the people will recognize us when we have the proper the rapport building with the people while communicating with them. And that is how we can recognize ourselves as a pharmacist. Okay, so obviously as you mentioned, most of you, like, we need to have knowledge, we need to improve our communication skill, and that is how you can build a rapport with the patient. And that's why the patient should come to your community pharmacy again and again for any help that they need from you. If they don't have belief in you, if they don't have the confidence in you, then ultimately you're going to lose that business. And that's why you need to have the basic knowledge with the communication skill, and that is how you can improve upon. Okay, I will go to the one by one, this one. Okay, yeah, Dr. Ban, yeah, Busnare, Dr. Busnare is communication skill, lifestyle modification, medication counseling, medicine information. Yeah, these are the phases we have, and these are the skills ultimately is lacking in the in the particular community pharmacies. Medication device counseling is a good topic. I'm going to elaborate. Might be in short way. We don't have the much time, I think. And medication device counseling, like what I can say here, the example, like those having the asthma, they need to use the inhaler. So how they can use the inhaler if they have the arthritis? This is the one scenario. If you have, you need to think about that. If they have the arthritis, obviously while using the inhaler they will get the pain. So that is how, as a pharmacist, you need to think about what other the solution you have for that problem. So the patient will come up with a lot of problem. As a pharmacist, as a professional, as a caretaker of them, as the society public, we need to find the ways how we can deal with the particular scenario, with the particular problem. Mr. Ramesh, yes, treat every patient as a family member. That is also very true. If you are taking care of yourself as a pharmacist, obviously you are going to take care of your other the public, the society, your customer, your patient, as a family member. And that is how we need to have the equity. We call it the equity for the patient. So every patient is same for us. There is no rich, there is no poor. So all the treatment will be similar for everyone whenever they are coming to your community pharmacy. So that is how we can treat them as a family member. We can communicate with them as like that, and that is how we can provide the correct information to them. Okay, good listener. Yes, Mr. Sachin Kumar Pandey, good listener. Also, we talk upon that already. Okay, so you need to listen to others. That's how you can learn from them, and that is how you can have some experiential learning. That is also a new term. Experiential learning is the listening from others, and that is how we have the humility. The humbleness is a different kind of thing, but if you have the humility is the thing like you are listening to others, you are open for the comment, and at the same time you are taking the help from others if you are in trouble, so that is how we define the humility. And as a good listener, we should have that particular skill also within us, can help in fighting the infodic in the pandemic like COVID-19, and provide factual and reliable information. Yes. So we have the phase 2, right? Reliable information. So where you will get the reliable information, Mr. Trupal Rathod, right? So reliable information, like you might be heard about the memes, SIMS, might be the British National Formulary, and there are many other online resources we have for the drug information, for the drug interaction checking. We have the textbook also, the Stockley's drug book, right? The drug interaction by the Stockley, the author name. So we have many things to discuss in the coming, the phases. Explain the role of medicine, side effect, Mr. Ramesh again. Explain the role of medicine, side effect, and what to do if miss the dose. Correct. That is very relevant, So as a community pharmacist, we need to explain the role of medicine, what are the side effects may come, adverse effect, what are the things may go wrong with you, and also we need to think about the comorbidities the patient is having, and accordingly we need to give the right direction to them, right the advice, the counseling point to them. Okay, and person to person it may vary, and that's why we define as a patient centric care. So that is how we need to look after each and every patient. Every individual is different. Okay, whatever the medicine we have for the pediatric, we cannot use for the geriatric for some sake, for maybe some rationale is there. Okay, so that is how we are looking forward to see the examples in the coming time in the phases. Okay, again, Dr. Busnure, empathetic thought process. Yes, so that thought process is very important. Okay, and how much care you have again for the people. Okay, and again this Dr. Anil already replied here, the medicine info in next session. Yes, Preeti. Okay, Dr. Busnure again, Preeti of intention with zeal and enthusiasm of core services. Yes. So obviously we need enthusiasm from the community services, also the community pharmacist. Okay, and that is how we can improve upon. And thanks for your comment, and I can learn from this also. Okay, so what I mentioned here and what you as a participant mentioned here, the communication skill, I can see we should have the communication skill. We should have the skill that can provide the reliable information to the patient, that can provide the information to the caretaker also. And that is how we can improve upon the things. Okay. So as a community pharmacist, which skills we need to improve? Okay, so you are on the right track. Okay, and then you're going very, very well, and I can appreciate your response, and thanks for your time to be there in this particular presentation, and for the comment you have given for this particular question. Okay, another thing, once you go for the skills development, so obviously the skills development is a lifelong process. Okay, and that is how you need to build your skill as the lifelong learner. Lifelong learner is also one of the skill that you need to develop. You need not to only dispense the medication by sitting at the counter, by sitting at your community pharmacy, but at the same time you need to think about how I can improve my skills, how I am going to improve my particular the knowledge. So knowledge sometime if you are not having the lifelong learning approach, the knowledge will not get there for long period of time. But you need to have the training program, you need to have the certain type of faculty development program, you need to attend the webinars, you need to have the active participation at your community site, maybe at the national level or maybe at the local level, and by that way you can aware what are the things are going on, maybe at the national level, maybe at your place, and at the international level, and how the world is moving, So that is the very important thing. So that is how you need to skill develop, and also you need to have that particular lifelong learning skills within you. Okay. Again, I want to give you some examples related to the experience. Okay. So some of you, as I mentioned you earlier, like having the 5 years experience, some of you might be having greater than 15 years of experience in the academic year teaching, So why I have given here the experience in years and also the value addition. Some of you might be aware about the term value addition. Okay. So as a teacher, our role is not limited to the teaching only. Okay. So over the years, we are teaching to the student. So don't limit yourself. That is the first thing. You need to grab the opportunity, you need to grab the knowledge, and you need to improve your skills. And that is how you are adding something to your experience as a value addition. Value addition in academic, how I can define again in another way, is like you're doing your regular job, you're doing your professional activity as a teaching, but apart from that, how much you're having contribution to the research, how much publication you have, how much grant you received, how many students you guided at the UG level or maybe at the PG level, and then as a community pharmacy, what are the other things you did apart from the dispensing pharmacy? So only dispensing medication is not building your career. Just it is all about the experience you have in 10 years, 15 years. But in that 15 years, how much development you did for your community pharmacy, that is also matters. Say suppose one is having the community pharmacy dispensing only the medication from 25 years, 30 years, and another fellow in the same city having the same type of 25 to 30 years of experience, but that pharmacist particularly having the value addition services in his community pharmacy. So what are the value addition services? Right from dispensing, you have the patient counseling, you have the additional services like body mass index checking, and also you have the diabetes screening, you have the pregnancy testing, you have the hormonal the hormonal contraception type of counseling, and how to take the hormonal contraceptives, particularly how to vaccinate the people, what is the necessity of the vaccination. So these are the the services that will provide you the value addition to your community pharmacy services. And that is how we look upon the experience in years and versus to the value added into that particular profession. Okay. Coming to the next point in this particular the role and responsibilities is the pharmacy curriculum. So why I am taking this particular pharmacy curriculum point here, because all are teacher. Okay. So you should be aware about that pharmacy curriculum. So are we teaching the people, or are we teaching the upcoming pharmacist or the student in a right direction? Okay. Some of you might be teaching it, and some of you might be need to improve your teaching, because everything is not in the curriculum. Only you can give the knowledge, but what about the application part? Application is missing. So you need to think in that direction. You need to develop the student approach to apply the knowledge. What knowledge you have, apply that knowledge, and that how you can have the content and delivery accordingly for your subject. That might be any subject you are teaching with your in your pharmacy curriculum, but you need to see the real scenario. You need to see where we can implement this particular type of knowledge into the real world scenario. Okay. So coming to the next point is the community pharmacist. I'm not going in much detail now with these particular things. These are the basic things we should we have already background of this. Okay, but maybe some of our teachers, the faculty members, they are not maybe not teaching that particular community pharmacy aspect in the pharmacy curriculum. So that just I have given the basic information. before proceeding for our other phases, So these are the roles you can see. What is the role of community pharmacy? So as you go with the the Pharmacy Council of India practice guideline, particularly 2015. So they have mentioned like community pharmacy, dispensary, and the drug warehouse. These are the main three areas where the community pharmacy is looking for. Okay, and they are working for in that particular department, right? So other thing, like to my opinion, how I have the classification is the retail or the wholesale pharmacy, retail pharma companies, the pharmacy chains, airport pharmacies, okay, Indian Airways, and online pharmacy with the consultation, the patient counseling, and the advanced services, So these are the services provided by the community pharmacy, and that's how we can think about how the community pharmacist is having their role as a multi-dimensional, So community pharmacy is having a multi-dimensional role. And what is the purpose of particular community pharmacies is to provide the technical services and the logistic support for the effective delivery of the pharmaceutical care and the services that he is going to provide to the community. Okay, that's how all services comes under the advanced services, like what I mentioned you earlier before, right? All the screening type of services, that might be including the total cholesterol and all other cholesterol parameters, the routine blood checkup, and the diabetes screening, and all other basic, the monitoring. So coming to the responsibilities of the community pharmacies, okay, so these are the pharmacy practice based regulation in 2015 published by the Pharmacy Council of India. And as you know that dispensing is the basic, the responsibility of the community pharmacy, with ensuring the different treatment are compatible with the patient, and keeping the registered of the controlled drugs for the legal and stock control purposes, And also the community pharmacy need to liaise with the doctor about the prescription. If something goes wrong in the prescription, like drug interaction, adverse drug reaction, or there might be a chances of having some side effect or serious adverse drug event with the particular drug, then in that case, there is a responsibility of the community pharmacy to report it to the doctor before dispensing the medication to the particular patient. Okay, so that is very important. And but many of the community pharmacy, I can say the reality that is not happening at the community side. No one is checking the drug interaction. Many of us are doing like that. Only the few people, they are checking the prescription, and they're having the prescription screening. So that is the part where we are lacking. And in the coming time, in the phase of this particular prescription screening, we will learn about like how to improve that particular skill. What are the resources we can use, okay, to check the drug interaction, to check whether that particular drug is suitable for the comorbidities the patient is having. Okay, the real-time example I can give here, the top 5 condition you can see in the India is the diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cancer, hyperlipidemia. Okay, and worldwide, these are the 4-5 things, the disease condition disorders we have to focus upon, and that's why some of the comorbidities are there, like diabetes plus hypertension. So in that aspect, what are the drugs regimen we need to prefer in that case, particularly if the patient is having a comorbid condition. So that part also we can discuss in the prescription screening. Again, another responsibility is the selling over-the-counter medicines. So that is also very relevant, like, the patient is having the sneezing, coughing, and all other things. But again, sometime where we are doing the medication error, where we are doing the mistakes as a community pharmacy. So selling the over-the-counter medicine, we need to get the background information from the patient first, whether the medication is for him or maybe for his wife or maybe for his kid. Sometimes as a community pharmacist, we are never asking the medication for whom. So in that aspect, if we don't ask that relevant basic question, the mistakes start from there, and there are many literature stating that the mistakes happen due to the negligence of the community pharmacy. And this is how we can avoid, by asking several relevant questions to the patient, whether the medication for himself or maybe for his wife or maybe for his kid and things like that. Okay. The medicine obviously is not compatible with the all people. The medicine those are using for the geriatric, pediatric, maybe the special population, like the pregnant lady, some of the medications are not recommended to be taken in the pregnant lady. So that is how, as a pharmacist, we can avoid the medication error, we can avoid the mistakes, and that is how we learn from it. Okay. Another responsibility is the counseling again, with the minor elements. Okay, advising the patient about their side effect, why to take medication, what is the medicine mechanism, So obviously you're not going to use the medical terminology, but at the same time, you're going to tell to the patient in a simplified way how the medicine is acting. If he is more interested to know, then maybe if the patient is well educated, then you can tell to the patient in a much deeper way, like how the medicine works and why you need to take that, why you need to have the patient, the medication compliance, the medication adherence, and what is the rationale behind that. Another thing is providing the prescription intervention service. Okay, so this is not very popular at the Indian side, but maybe in the coming time we can see the growth in this particular subject, in this particular, in the particular subject, the providing prescription intervention service. So this is also very good service apart from the patient counseling what we have right now. And many metropolitan city, they already started their patient counseling services, and they're giving good service to the patient, and they're satisfying the patient with that aspect particularly. And that is how we received a positive patient satisfaction, the positive patient safety culture in that aspect. Another thing is counseling for the special population, as I mentioned you earlier, like pediatric, geriatric, and the pregnant women. Dispensing emergency hormonal contraception and the pregnancy testing. Okay, and monitoring the things like body mass index, the blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes screening, arranging the delivery of the prescription medicine to the patient, that is the e-pharmacy we have nowadays. So nowadays many other pharmacy, the community pharmacy, they also started giving the service at the door to door, with for the patient, particularly those are having the chronic illness, or maybe those taking the regular medicines with the same community pharmacy. So they have the good rapport with the patient, and that is how they can attract the many customers and the patient accordingly. And meanwhile, they can also build up their business accordingly. So safe storage of the medical products. So again, this one of the aspect we can also learn from our upcoming phase. Okay, what is the safe storage? How we can do the storage properly with the medicine, particularly how to store in the particular home whenever the patient is using the bottle. Up to what time they can use. For simple example is the eye drop, right? Eye drop we cannot use once open. We cannot use after certain period of time. Where to keep the tablet, where to keep the capsule, where you want to keep the things in the refrigerator. If you're keeping at the door side of the refrigerator, obviously there will be a more fluctuation of the temperature, and that is how the drug may get degraded sometime. And that's why you need to store it properly whenever you are storing the things in the refrigerator. Whenever you have the insulin vial with you, how to store that and things like that. Maybe in the coming time we will think in practical aspect how we can look into that particular matter. Maintaining the computerized records. Okay, that is again one of the good, and the main initiative is the digital health. So nowadays, if you are aware about the digital health, many of us knows about that, what is the importance of the digital health. And that's why the community pharmacy, they can record all the things apart from their business point of view. They can also record the patient, the history, the medicine history, medical history, what is their allergy status, and all other things. Managing, supervising, and training the pharmacy support staff. That also include our student, the pharmacy student, if they are doing some, the internship there with their community pharmacy. Selling the healthcare and other products such as cosmetic, that is also one of the other area the community pharmacy is working upon. And nowadays you can have the complementary and alternative medicine. A lot of people, those are taking some herbal supplement also, but in that aspect we need to be very careful. If the patient is having the renal failure, what type of the damage it may occur in that patient with the renal failure and taking the herbal supplements. So with the practical approach, we can learn that type of things in our upcoming phases. Promoting the sale and developing the business, that is also one of the objective and the role and responsibilities of the community pharmacy. Keeping up to date with the current pharmacy practice, new drugs and their uses. Okay, so how you can have the current knowledge by reading the literature, by reading the leaflet. Those are coming under the particular in the medicine, the pre-packed medicine. Most of the time we are not formulating the medicine at the community pharmacy side, but nowadays we have already formulated products at the community side, and those products already we are dispensing to the patient. That is the practice we are doing most of the time, right, in the India. So just going to the other direction, like just taking some break from the subject we are learning right now. So don't limit yourself. You can see the bulb here and the fish are inside that, and if the fish will be there in the sea, the environment will be different. But here we can see as a human being the bulb and all other the scenario is looking good. But don't limit yourself while doing the things. Like what example I have given to you here, like one is having the community pharmacy with the 25 years experience and not having any advanced services with their community pharmacy, and at the same time the other community pharmacy is having the same experience of 20 to 25 years, but he has established his community pharmacy in a proper way with the advanced services. So that is the difference. Okay, that is the difference. So don't limit yourself, and that is how you can have your thought process. Okay, so whenever you have the right approach, right thinking ability, right critical thinking ability, that's how you can practice, and that practice makes the habit. Okay, so practice, practice and practice. So once you do the practice, as you know that practice makes a man perfect, and that practice you make as a habit, and because of that habit your character will be like that as a human being. And once you have that character as a community pharmacist, you can reach your destiny, you can reach your destination in a proper way within that allocated time what you set your vision to be there with. Okay, so again, by having the proper destiny, by having the proper destination, you can have the wisdom, you have the thinking ability, you have the ability to take a correct decision, and that is again one of the skill we want in a community pharmacy, that you have the wisdom, you have the capability to take a correct decision by responding to symptom. That is our another phase. So if someone is coming to your pharmacy having some symptoms, so you as a community pharmacy, you should able to recognize what is the problem and what might be the most accurate, I'm saying most accurate diagnosis, and what should be the most accurate treatment for that. And when you learn that, because you have the knowledge, you have the capability, you have improved your skills, and that is how your experiential learning also will help you to take that decision. So experiential learning is also as much as important whenever there is a need of clinical decision making. So be your own limited edition, So it's not a limited. Okay, I can say be your own edition. So don't limit yourself. Don't be a limited edition. Like you can see the many things are there. Like in limited edition might be the car, might be the the what we can say the watch, the limited edition watch and things like that. Okay, so be your own edition and learn from reflecting on your experience. Okay, learn from everyone, but think at the last what you think is a right way to go forward and move forward. Okay, so it's up to you. So you can learn from many things from others, but it's up to you, up to your opinion, how to move forward, how to go in a right direction, so again, I believe in one of the thought is like no challenges, no success. If you are not facing challenges, you can see might be you're not growing, or might be you're not on the correct path, or maybe you're not going to success in your career, in your profession, or maybe in your social life. If you are not having challenges, you are also not going to succeed. But rather, I can say KNOW, no challenges and no success. So once you know the challenges, then only you know the ways how to improve. You are going to have the proper solution for that, and that is how the ways of success, success stories. The ways how to succeed in your particular life. So that I believe upon. And once you go for the higher version, obviously you have the self confidence, but don't have the arrogance, because whenever there is a self confidence, the some people, they have a type of arrogance, so they won't listen to others. So that is how you cannot cultivate humility. So if you want to cultivate the humility, you need to listen to the others, you need to take their feedback, you need to improve upon the things that you have received in your feedback. For say, suppose you are the lecturer, you are the faculty members, and whenever you are teaching, you have the self-confidence, but might be you should not have the arrogance. And as the same way goes for the community pharmacy, if you have the self-confidence, that is very good, but don't change that self-confidence to the arrogance, because anyhow that arrogance will not be helping you to go to the next level. And that's why you need to listen to the people, you need to listen to the public. And that's why the some of our the participants, they have given the good particular feedback there, like we need to listen, that is comes under the humility, so listener, so you should have the good listening capability. That's why you can improve upon your experiential learning, you can cultivate the humility in that direction. And that's why I want to mention here the talking, listening and learning. So whenever I'm talking, I'm a resource person, I'm talking, I'm sharing my knowledge. By my sharing my knowledge, you're getting some things, you're listening to me, and you're improving your knowledge, and you're thinking like, okay, how I need to go in a right direction, in a proper way. So that might be some of you are thinking upon. And if you are listening to someone, obviously you are learning. Same goes for the community pharmacy. Community pharmacy, as a community pharmacy, you're listening to many people, many patients, and by that way you're learning something, you're learning new things, as like before 5 years we never know about the COVID-19, because the COVID-19 happens in 2019. That's why we call on, like, the COVID-19. Other strains are there, right? Those are maybe related with the sneezing, coughing, and the SARS virus and all other viruses. But we are not sure about, and we are not aware about the COVID-19. Okay, and that's why we learn from the COVID-19 how to move forward, and how to go in the right direction, right? So that is the challenge we accepted, and we are taking as an opportunity for that, right? Another thing is like learn from everyone and also from your own mistake. And maybe if you are reading some mistakes from the anyone, from the newspaper, from anywhere, maybe from the internet, a webinar, any seminar series, or maybe FDP, so learn from that. Okay, so mistakes are acceptable if you're doing at the first time. If you're doing the mistakes, the same mistakes all over the time, the same mistakes, so obviously you're not growing, and you're not checking your reflection, you're not checking upon how you're proceeding with your life. Okay, so learn from each other. Everyone, you can learn something from that. Okay, even I can say you can learn something from your kid also. Okay, so it's not like I am the resource person and I'm sharing some knowledge and you're learning something. You can learn even from the whenever you watch some Discovery Channel video, you can learn the things from animal, how they are showing their empathy and sympathy while someone is in trouble. There might be the friends in jungle, so that's how as a human being we can think in that direction also, to have the sympathy, empathy, the moral, the respect about our profession. And you can learn always from the mistakes that we did in our past. Okay, and by going through all the all the parts, lastly I can say that take ownership of your own learning. Okay, so don't restrict yourself. Try to go through the literature, try to enhance your knowledge. Some of us maybe having the good thing is that we are we are learning from the reading books. That is a good habit, I can say. That is a lifelong learning approach also. So take a ownership of your own learning. Maybe like some of the student, in case of student, if we talk about like earlier, not in this era particularly, in the earlier era, maybe before 20 years, 25 years, the student only need to rely upon the lecturer, upon the teacher. So the taking ownership of their own learning was missing. But nowadays everyone knows that what is the importance of the learning, and why to take the ownership of your own learning. Okay, so this is a very good and relevant aspect with the all the persons, those they want to go to the next level. So are we doing everything for money? Community pharmacy. So maybe like some of the community pharmacy, they are thinking in the other direction, like the pharmacy they have set up to earn the
Praveen,
money and things like that.
Praveen, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. We are coming to the end after scheduled time.
yeah, maybe 5 minutes another.
Try to wrap up in a minute, and then we will take feedback from the participants.
Yeah, sure, 5 minutes. Yeah. So are we doing everything for money? So is not for everything for money we are doing it. Okay, so as you know that many quotes are there, like you can buy the good bed but not the sleep, right? You can buy medicine but not the health from the money. And there are many quotes are there for that. So as a pharmacist, we need to look upon the pharmacist oath. So should I trespass and violate this oath? May the reverse be my lot. So if you know about, and we already know about this pharmacist oath, right? So this is the oath. Just I want to highlight here, whenever you have the communication with the community pharmacist, and maybe accordingly you can use that particular oath to have the the awareness among the community pharmacist. Okay, I won't take much time here. So this is again whenever we look upon the worldwide. Okay, the speak about the patient safety. This is the campaign launched by the World Health Organization. Okay, and these are the future prospects we have as a community pharmacy. And whenever you have the passion, that also leads with your innovation, uh, and also the positive thinkings make the creativity. Okay, you need to develop your new skills. Okay, and where does the research start? Wherever there is a question mark, the research starts from there. Wherever you have the any thinking, and then you have the question mark in your mind, so from there the research will start. future opportunities for the community pharmacy that we are going to see in the coming time, local, national, and also the global perspectives. Okay, that also we are going to see in the coming time. Going to the last particular topic here is know your medicine. So as we are the community pharmacy, we can also launch about the program called as Know Your Medicine program. So that program comes under the quality use of medicine. As I mentioned you earlier, quality of medicine and quality use of medicine, these are the two terminology, where quality of medicine is mainly we are looking upon the quality of the medicine, and how we dispense the medicine with the counseling, that is comes under the quality use of medicine. So overall, why we need to have this particular program is to enhance the patient understanding, their awareness regarding the medication, and also we want to educate the public, society, community for the rational use of medicine. And always as a pharmacist, we know that 5R concept is the right medication for the right patient, with the right dose, with the right route of administration, with the right time, So these are the 5R concept, as we know already as a community pharmacy. And whenever we look at the worldwide site at the FIP, like International Pharmaceutical Federation, so what is their mission is to assist the pharmacist wherever they live and practice in the delivering of medicines, health product, and also the services that will improve medicine use and advance patient care. Again, if you look at the vision, you see the vision very properly, So vision, if you look at for the community pharmacy, the core competency of community pharmacies across the globe can be distilled into 4 unique skills. So what they expect from all other community pharmacy is the prescription, that is the prescribed, okay, prescribed by the community pharmacy. Okay, so I'm talking about the global level now, not at the local context. Dispense, administer, and review. So these are the core competencies that expectation is from the FIP. Okay, so I know that if sometime if you think about if the market is not ready to accept the idea. Okay, so if you think about today, our Indian market is not is not ready to accept this particular change, or maybe this type of the idea. So if the market is not ready, there is no need to throw this particular good idea into the market. But maybe in the coming time, that is my opinion, we can move forward and can have this type of activity done by the community pharmacy in the near future. And that's how I look upon the better future of the community pharmacy in India. Okay, so just think before you speak and read before you think. Okay, and this is how I'm having the last slide. So if you want to launch your rocket at at the right place, you need to know your challenges, the global perspective, guidelines, regulation, policies, and also you need to look forward, and you need to know at the same time your strength, weakness, opportunities, and the limitation. Okay, so that's how the last message I want to deliver here is like I have always know where I wanted to go in my life. That is the quote given by the Tiger Woods, and that everyone should know that what is their vision, what is their mission, and where they want to go in their life. Okay, for the better future. So let's contribute to the pharmacy education and research by enhancing the quality education. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation, and these are the references I have gone through for preparation of this particular presentation. And as I mentioned you earlier, your feedback matters to us, and try to give your feedbacks. Okay, and that's how we can improve upon in our next sessions, in next phases. So for instructions for the upcoming phases is we have the breakout rooms in the Zoom. Okay, maybe Dr. Anil can mention you about if he wants the breakout room in the communication skill phase 2 or not, or maybe from phase 3 we can start upon the breakout rooms. Also, as he mentioned that we can share the preliminary data and references with you for the next phases. And we have some role play and the practice scenario based approach for the each phase particularly. Okay. Any question from participant? Anything you want to add on here?
Currently, I have nothing to add. I will add the relevant info for next week's session by tomorrow by this time.
Okay.
Like certain scenarios, certain pre-read materials, I will add up in by tomorrow. Please go through the documents, and I will also give some video links. Please watch that so that it would be helpful for you when we are communicating by next week. Thank you.
Okay, any question before we end our session?
Participants?
Good afternoon, Dr. Prabhu.
Yeah, ma'am, please continue.
Hello, sir.
Hi, yeah. Please, Dr. Shilpa, yeah.
Yeah, sir, nothing as such about the question, but just a compliment that it was really a nice session as the introduction session. Lot many job profiles for the community pharmacists, whatever you have shared, really those all roles we are supposed to play whenever we are dispensing maybe the medicines or at the back seats whenever we are training them as teachers. So nice compilation and presentation, sir. And as you said, like, from next time, all these things we can learn through each other's interaction. So it was a good initiative, and from the presentation we can come to know how much detailed study for this particular module you all people have done. So really thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your feedback. And in coming time, we can have the more interaction. I can see like this session is like just the introduction, and this is the practice match we have today. So just with the coming time, we have the more interaction. Okay, and we need cooperation from your end also. Definitely, it will help you to improve the skills for your maybe for your for your teaching, and also for giving the awareness program to the community pharmacy particularly. Yeah, and any question from the participants before we end the session?
Hello.
Yeah, please, yes. Yeah, Dr.
Hello, sir.
Ramesh.
Yes, sir. It was a very nice session. Sir, I want to ask one question. In foreign countries, pharmacists and doctors sit together. The doctor only diagnose the disease, and the pharmacist dispense as per his knowledge. But in our India, doctor write the prescription and then pharmacist dispense the medicine. Why this happens? And will this policy we can implement in India like foreigner?
Yes, that is a good question. And always I can see, like, I mentioned somewhere before, like if we compare, the European pharmacist with the Indian perspective. So where we are lacking particularly, we are lacking, as a teacher, you ask the question yourself that, are we having that type of pharmacy curriculum in India? That is the first question, So right from you need to think about all the ABCD, So first of all, we need to think about the pharmacy curriculum. So are we having that type of pharmacy curriculum compare with the European countries, compare with the Western countries? And that is how, the European Western countries, they will train the community pharmacist in such a way that they have the real implication of that knowledge. What they learn from their diploma, the postgraduate, right, the bachelor's degree, they have that particular, the knowledge part, the communication part, they have that confidence. So when you can build up the confidence, because if you have the right knowledge, you will have definitely the confidence, and that is also relevant in case of community pharmacy. We need to modify our curriculum at that level, at that level. Again, we need to have some rotation. The attachment might be at the community side, the more practical approach, instead of having only the knowledge sharing in the classroom. That won't help. That is my, the personal opinion, and that is very true fact, and we need to accept it. Okay, because if we are not accepting it now, maybe we need to accept in the future. So that is my personal opinion. We need to have the curriculum that should give some the confidence to the society, to the public, to the professionals also, that pharmacists are equally important as registered medical practitioners. That is how in our today's talk, Dr. Saraf sir, he rightly mentioned that pharmacist role, so right from manufacturing all, we know all the dosage form, how to manufacture tablet, or what are the different dosage form we have, and we know all the specs regarding the manufacturing, but we are lacking about the real application of the knowledge in the pharmacy. That is the pharmacy practice. So we are not practicing. We are lacking there. And why we lack there? Because of the insufficient skills that is not that we are not able to see in the upcoming community pharmacies. And the part of the reason is that we don't have the curriculum that is very good to have that particular skills development. I can see now diploma in pharmacy, they have given some new curriculum, right? So that curriculum, if you compare with the earlier curriculum that we have in our PCI syllabus, I think that one is more relevant with the practical approach, and simply say, suppose, for example, I can give some scenarios in our upcoming phases. Okay, so this is just the preliminary introduction we had today. In the coming time, I can more explain to you on that, particularly with your questions, and then you understand why we cannot compare the European, the Western pharmacist with the Indian pharmacist, what we are producing in India. Okay, we basically need to cultivate that particular the approach of sharing the knowledge and improving the skills. So we have here the objective structured clinical examination. So the clinical examination will be particularly assessed within the that particular approach of having the the OSCE examination for the B.Pharm student in Malaysia. But that approach is not there in India, because I already I was there until like 2014, but still that approach we don't have there, and that's why we need to improve upon that to go to the next level, and then only we can compare. Okay, we can sit together with the registered medical practitioner. Even though you can see in the today's scenario, no one is having the most of the people community pharmacy, just the prescription is coming to their community pharmacy and they're dispensing. What other things they are doing? They are not screening the prescription. So might be part of the reason is they are not aware about the interaction, how to check the interaction, what are the software they need. Okay, so this is I'm not talking about all, but maybe some of the people, they are more actively involved in that, but most of the people, I can say, we need to improve upon. Yeah, that is my opinion on that. Yeah, any other question?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please. Yeah, Dr. Abhishek.
Sir, I want to just ask a single question. Actually, what we saw that in few developed countries, but we saw that patient counseling is an integral part of the pharmacy profession. So I think it should be included into the India as well, or we should move with the same system. So I want to know about your opinion on the same subject, sir.
Patient counseling, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Patient counseling in pharmacy.
Yeah. So if you have gone through the PCI, right? Just now I mentioned the PCI, they have given, I think, in their notification that if you are providing any other services, including the patient counseling, you are having the right to have some fees for that. Okay. So if you are going for the registered medical practitioner, there will be some charge, there will be some charge for the diagnosis or maybe for consultation, for the medication and other things. But as a pharmacist, up to that time, we don't have any right to, have some charges. But nowadays, in the PCI, the Pharmacy Council of India, they have taken a decision, if we are having any additional services, including the patient counseling, you can charge that particular fees for the patient. For example, patient counseling, for example, you have the body mass index, the diabetes screening, the hyperlipidemia screening, or maybe the blood profile screening, or the parameters that need to be monitored at the community site, So that type of services, if you are giving to the public, to the society, obviously you will be recognized as a community pharmacy. And once they know that you are eligible for that, you are knowledgeable for that, you have the confidence, obviously the future is great for the community pharmacy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for a
Yeah,
lot,
thank
sir.
you.
Is there any question? Praveen sir, shall we conclude?
Yeah, please, no problem.
So on behalf of Western Regional Center of ACPI, I am very much thankful to the Dr. Praveen as well as Dr. Anil for today's wonderful session. I hope all of the participants have enjoyed a lot. And Anil sir will tomorrow upload all documents in closed WhatsApp groups. So I request all of the participants, please go through that before the next session. And I request all of you to join on the time. So thank you very much. And I declare that session is over here. Thanks to one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Praveen sir, you can close the meeting as you are host.
So I need to stop the recording first, right? Okay.